Good to go. Shay and Lou are going to rest tomorrow, so they will not play. And obviously, Jay, Will, K, Rich won't play with their stuff, and everybody else will be available.
Despite not having some of your main guys, this next little stretch here, 3 games in 4 nights, in general, you're going to try to have the cadence be like what it would be when you see a 3 games in 4 night stretch during the season.
In between the games, for sure, we'll manage it like that. But in the games, it's preseason, so it'll be a huge mix of different guys. We're going to get a lot of people out there over the next 3 nights by design. So the games will feel a lot different, but the work in between will be about the same.
Knowing that San Antonio might be approaching the actual game in a myriad of different ways, is there anything, though, that they do present as a team that you are looking forward to having your team go up against?
Just a different opponent. We've played against each other now for 7 practices, so it'll be good to just go against somebody different, get in a game context with officials and an opponent, but there'll be no game prep other than that.
Looking back on where you guys were on Tuesday when you first started training camp, how good do you feel about kind of the progress that this group has made going into the game tomorrow?
Yeah, we've gotten through a lot. We've checked a lot of boxes from a curriculum standpoint and hit our objectives. So the stuff that needs to be in is in. The guys are executing well. I think we've made some progress with some simple fundamentals that are important this time of year. Obviously, tomorrow's a great test to try to figure out where that is at in terms of carryover. So I'm looking forward to see what that looks like.
Plan kind of stagger the starters as we go along with the season, or what's that look like?
We're going to take it game by game. We'll start 5 guys tomorrow, and then we'll do what we think is best for the Houston game based on the goals we're trying to accomplish.
We've heard from Kaysen that he, was really intentional about adding some weight, adding some muscle, so he can kind of blow up a few screens as a defender. Have you seen that extra weight show up here during training camp so far?
He definitely looks physical, and he looks more imposing on offense as well, driving. People are kind of bouncing off him a little bit, so he's obviously put a lot of work in. It's not an insignificant amount of strength to put on in one summer, and it's definitely showing up.
You had mentioned that for Isaiah Joe, having a screener like Hartenstein is a little bit of a difference in adjustment. Maybe from a technique standpoint, is there anything that Isaiah Joe is working on to navigate those types of actions and get shots?
The biggest one is, don't be surprised how open you are for a 3. I think there's a tendency sometimes when you're running full speed off those things to think that you're going to have to turn it downhill, and the average player would. But with his shooting gravity, we want him to explore the 3-point shot for as long as possible. So you might be open directly behind it, you might be open 1 dribble away from it, but we want that to be a 3 if possible. And if they get you off the line at that point, you'll still have an advantage. But that's just a little subtle fundamental that some of the better shooters have. He's definitely got all the shots. It's just about attaching the reads to those plays.
I think we've asked you about a few specific areas. I don't think we asked you about Lou and Alex. I just wonder how they played off each other, maybe on both ends, and what you've seen from them on the court together.
Yeah, they've been together quite a bit, including again today and including the other day. So we've definitely taken a look at that. We've really shuffled a lot around. We're not limiting ourselves. We have versatile players that can play inside of a versatile system. And one of the benefits of that is you can play a lot of different people that have overlapping skills, and those skills can be additive. They don't detract from one another. So excited to see what it looks like as we get going, but they'll definitely be out there together.
I know you probably try to keep the teams even during camp, but thinking of overlapping skills, have you had Alex, Lou, and Kaysen on the team at the same time?
The second day they're on a team at the same time. So we've looked at everything. We're trying to make the teams even from a competitive standpoint, but not necessarily even in terms of how we're distributing skill sets. We're trying to look at a lot of different things right now. A lot of that stress tests your system too. You're trying to make sure that your system and the fundamentals that you're teaching hold up with different lineups. So it's not just about evaluating how the players fit together, but it's evaluating what we're teaching and making sure that no matter what lineup's on the court, we've got a system that can kind of bear the weight of that.
Is there any player or anything that you like to closely look at tomorrow?
I want to look at everything.
Today.
Yeah, I want to look at everything tomorrow. And throughout the preseason, there's a lot of things we're intrigued with in terms of, like I said, our system, a couple adjustments we've made from last season, new personnel, returning personnel, how it fits with the other returning personnel. Kaysen's a great example. He's the same player, but he's a different, skill set. He has a different level, I think, than last season. So seeing that with the same guys that are back and some of the new guys, I'm excited to watch all of it.
Has anything stood out with Usman Chang in your career?
I think I have a lot of respect for the work that he's done. You know, from this season, last season, he goes to the blue, having played a small role for us, and really just put his head down and got a lot of minutes and got a lot better, gained a lot of confidence, I think. And then he's had a really good summer from a strength standpoint. And so he's a guy, you know, that's put a lot of work in. And so I'm excited to see him go out there and apply it in these games and in the practices. But he's been very functional and done a very nice job.
Anything else?
Thanks, appreciate it.